Two people, same bank, same city, same salary. Both of them sat down 3 years ago, same amount of motivation, same genuine intention, and decided they were finally going to get serious about money. And here is where the story gets interesting. Because today, one of them checks her phone on a quiet Tuesday morning, sees a number she almost doesn't believe, and smiles. Not because she worked harder this month, not because she got lucky, but because something has been growing quietly in the background, almost without her involvement, for 3 years straight. The other one? He has the most organized financial spreadsheet you have ever seen, color-coded, every category accounted for, every naira assigned a purpose, and almost nothing saved. Now, before you assume the difference is discipline or income or some personality trait one of them was born with, I need you to stay with me, because the real reason is something nobody in personal finance is being honest about. And once I show it to you, you are going to look back at every budget you have ever built and understand exactly why it fell apart. Let me ask you something. How many times have you started a budget? Really think about it. How many Januaries? How many fresh starts after a rough month? How many times did you download an app, set your categories, feel genuinely in control, and then watch the whole thing quietly collapse by week 3? And here is the part that nobody talks about. It was not the budget that failed. It was the design. See, a budget is built on one assumption, that if you can just see your spending clearly enough, you will naturally make better decisions. That visibility equals control. But here is the part nobody tells you. Visibility without architecture is just guilt with better formatting. You can see exactly how much you overspent on food this month. You can see the number in red. You can feel the mild shame of it. And then, because shame is deeply uncomfortable, you close the app and tell yourself you will reset next month. Sound familiar? That moment, the closing of the app, the mental reset, the I'll start fresh on the 1st, that is not weakness. That is the completely predictable response to a system that was never designed for the way human psychology actually works. And here's what I want you to really sit with. The people who are quietly building wealth right now, they are not more disciplined than you. They are not checking their budget more carefully than you. They figured something out that most people spend decades missing entirely. They stopped relying on decisions and started relying on design. Here's a concept that will reframe everything. Researchers call it decision fatigue, and the basic idea is this. Every decision you make throughout the day costs real mental energy, finite, measurable, depleting energy. So think about what a budget actually asks of you. Every purchase, every transaction, every moment of temptation, the budget asks you to stop, check the category, assess the remaining balance, weigh the decision, and choose correctly. That is a decision every single time. Now ask yourself, when does temptation usually hit hardest? Friday evening after a long week? Late at night when you're tired and just want to order food? Saturday afternoon when everyone around you is spending freely? That's exactly when your decision-making energy is at its lowest, and that's exactly when your budget needs it most. But here's the part nobody tells you. Wealthy people are not better at making those decisions under pressure. They have simply built systems where those decisions never need to be made at all. Think of willpower like carrying water in your hands. You can do it, you might even get quite good at it, but you will always lose some. And the longer the journey, the more you lose. A system is a pipe. The water moves without you touching it. So the question is not, how do I get better at carrying the water? The question is, why am I not building the pipe? Let me give you a number. 3 weeks. That's the average time before a genuinely motivated person abandons a detailed budgeting system. 3 weeks. And here's what I find fascinating about that number. The people who quit their budgets at week 3 are not failing at saving money. They are succeeding at being human. The system failed them, not the other way around. Now, what are the quiet wealth builders doing instead? The people who will never post about it, never make it their personality, never track a single category, but will retire a decade earlier than anyone around them. They removed the decision entirely. You've probably heard the phrase, pay yourself first, and if you're like most people, you interpreted it as try to put something aside at the end of the month if there is anything left. But here's the part nobody tells you. There is never anything left at the end of the month. Ever. Because spending is not a fixed thing. It's a flexible thing. It expands quietly and naturally to fill whatever feels available. This is not a character flaw. It's just how human psychology responds to visible resources. So here's what pay yourself first actually means done correctly. The moment your income arrives, before a single bill, before a single meal, before your brain has even registered the full balance, a fixed percentage moves automatically into a separate account. Not manually, not when you remember, not when you feel motivated, automatically. The bank moves it. You set it once, the decision is made permanently. And here's why this works where every budget fails. You can only spend what your brain believes is available. When money disappears before you see the full balance, before the mind has cataloged it as a resource, you adapt to what remains. Your lifestyle quietly recalibrates around the smaller number, not through deprivation, not through restriction, simply through the natural human process of adjusting to a new normal. The same psychological mechanism that causes lifestyle inflation, that quiet expansion of spending to match rising income, works perfectly in reverse when the money is moved first. Dana is not saving 22% through discipline. She automated 22% on payday 3 years ago and simply forgot to undo it. Her lifestyle adjusted, her wealth compounded, her budget app has been deleted for 2 years. Now here is the layer that most pay yourself first explanations leave out entirely. Where the money goes matters as much as the act of moving it. Most people have one account. Income arrives and everything, bills, food, savings, Friday nights, leaves from the same pool. There is no visual separation. There is no psychological clarity. Everything feels available, so everything gets spent. But here is the part nobody tells you. Money without a label behaves like water without a container. It finds every crack, it fills every space, and before you can measure it, it is gone. The 3-account architecture gives every naira a container, a job, an identity. So here's how it works. Account 1 is your income account. Your salary arrives here. That is its only job. You do not spend from this account directly. The moment income lands, 2 automatic transfers fire. The first moves your savings percentage, start at 10%, into account 2, your wealth account. This account has one rule that you set on day 1 and never revisit. Money only enters. It does not fund emergencies. It does not cover shortfalls. It sits. It compounds. It builds quietly while your daily life continues above it. The second transfer moves a fixed monthly living amount into account 3, your spending account. This is the only account connected to your daily life, the only card in your wallet. Food, transport, leisure, everything flows from this single pool. And here's the beautiful part. When account 3 runs low, you slow down. Not because a red category is shaming you, not because you have broken a rule, simply because the pool is visibly smaller and your behavior adjusts naturally. No guilt, no spreadsheet, no restart. Think of your current finances as one large pot. Everything goes in, everything comes out. You can never tell what is savings and what is spending because it's all the same water. The 3-account architecture gives you 3 separate pots. Each one has a single purpose. Each one is full of water that knows exactly where it belongs. I want you to imagine something for a moment. 10 years from now, you are not necessarily rich by anyone else's definition, but you are free by yours. You check your wealth account the way most people check the weather, casually, without anxiety, without dread. The number surprises you slightly, not because something dramatic happened, but because 10 years of quiet compounding looks like a lot when you finally stop to look. And the strangest part, you barely felt it building. Because one afternoon, 10 years ago, you opened 2 extra accounts, set 1 automatic transfer, and let the infrastructure do what infrastructure does: work, quietly, permanently, without needing your permission every single day. Now imagine the alternative version of that same 10 years. A decade of spreadsheets, a decade of January motivation followed by February guilt, a decade of almost saving, always planning to start properly next month. The gap between those two futures is not talent, it is not income, it is not even time. It is one afternoon in one decision made once. The separation. Open 2 additional accounts today. Name them deliberately: wealth account, spending account. The names matter more than you think. They create psychological distance. Money with a clear identity is harder to treat carelessly. The automation. Set a standing order for your next payday: 10% to wealth account, fixed monthly living amount to spending account, before your hand touches the balance, before temptation has a moment to form. The removal. Delete the budgeting app, spending account only from this point forward. When it runs low, you slow down. When it resets, you continue. That is the entire operating philosophy. The increment. Every 60 days, just 60 days, increase the wealth account transfer by 2%. You won't feel it, your lifestyle won't register it, but your trajectory will shift permanently with every small increase. Start at 10% and the system works. Build to 20% and the system accelerates. The mechanism is identical, only the percentage changes. Remember the 2 people from the beginning. Same bank, same city, same salary. One of them spent 3 years making the right decision every single day, under every condition, through every temptation, carrying the water carefully in both hands. The other one spent 1 afternoon building a pipe. The spreadsheet was never the problem. The intention was never the problem. The design was the problem. And design, unlike discipline, does not get tired, does not have bad weeks, does not need a fresh start on the first of the month. Build the pipe once, let it run. Here is the one thing you can do before you sleep tonight. Open your banking app, create 1 new account, name it wealth account. Set a standing order for your next payday, even if it's just 5% to begin with. Not because 5% will change your life overnight, but because the automation is the habit, and the habit compounded over 10 years is the entire game. The infrastructure starts today. You now have the system, but every system needs a destination. Without a specific number to aim at, the goalposts keep moving. The work never feels finished, and quiet wealth never feels like enough.